Next is to undertake a general revision of real property assessments every 3 years, and also to make a frequent physical surveys to check and determine whether all real properties within the locality are properly listed in the assessment rolls. Appraised all real properties in accordance with the approved or duly enacted schedule of fair market values pursuant to RA number 7160, and conduct frequent ocular inspections to determine if all the properties are properly assessed. Next is to prepare the field appraisal and assessment sheets and issue tax declarations for all newly discovered properties and transactions involving transfers of ownership, subdivisions of land into two or more parcels, and or consolidation of two or more parcels into a single ownership, as well as other transactions involving assessment of real property. It also apply the appropriate assessment levels prescribed by the Sanggunian concerned. And also, one of the major function is to keep a record of all transfers, leases, mortgages of real property, rentals, insurance, cost of construction of buildings, and other improvements on land, land income, and other source of data needed in the preparation of schedule of fair market values as well as for other assessment purposes. And also, it should cancel assessment in case of duplication of assessment on one property. However, if in any assessee or his representatives shall object to the cancellation of the assessment made in his name, such assessment shall not be cancelled, but the fact shall be noted on the field appraisal assessment sheet or in tax declaration, assessment rolls, and other property books of records. The preference, however, shall be given to the assessment of the person who has the best title to the property or, in default thereof, of the person who is in actual possession of the property. Next is to eliminate from the assessment roll of taxable properties such properties which have been destroyed or have suffered a permanent loss of value by reason of storm, flood, fire, or other calamity, or being exempt properties that have been improperly included in the same. And also decrease the assessment where the property previously assessed has suffered a substantial loss of value by reason of a physical or an economic obsolescence. And it is also to increase the assessment where improvements and repairs have made upon the property subsequent to the last assessment. So, what are the other functions of the local assessors? The local assessor should also declare and assess the property in the name of the defaulting owner, if known, or against an unknown owner, as the case may be, in accordance with the provisions of Title 2, Book 2 of the Local Government Code, when any person, natural or juridical, by whom real property is required to be declared refuses or fail for any reason to make such declaration within the time prescribed. And also, the local assessor should prepare and maintain the assessment rolls for taxable and for exempt real properties located within the territorial jurisdiction of the local government unit concerned, except in cases where the assessor's records are computerized and the same are directly and operationally connected to the provincial, city, or municipal treasurer in the form of local area network plan. The local assessor should also furnish the treasurer of the local government unit on or before the 31st day of December of each year with a copy of the assessment roll for taxable and for exempt properties which were newly assessed or reassessed, and the value of such properties except in cases where the assessor's records are computerized and the same are directly and operationally connected to the provincial or city municipal treasurer in form of land. And also, the other functions of our local assessors is to obtaining information on which to base the market value of any real property. The assessor of the province, of the city, or municipality of his deputy may summon the owners of the properties affected or persons having a legal interest therein and their witnesses and administer oath and take deposition concerning the property, its ownership, amount, nature, and value. And also to recommend to the Sanggunian concerned amendments to correct errors and inequalities of valuation in the schedule of a fair market values. And also the provincial, the city or municipal assessor shall within 30 days give a written notice of such new or revised assessment to the person in whose name the property is declared when the real property is assessed for the first time or when an existing assessment is increased or decreased. And also other functions of local assessor in case the provincial or the city assessor or the municipal assessor within the Metro Manila area concurs with the decision of the local board of assessment appeals. It shall be his duty to notify the owners of the property or the person having legal interest therein of such fact using the form prescribed to the purpose. The owner of the real property or the person having legal interest therein or the assessor who is not satisfied with the decision of the board may within 30 days after receipt of the decision of the said board appeal to the Central Board of Assessment Appeals. The provincial, city, or municipal assessor shall make a keep an updated record of all idle lands located with his jurisdiction for purposes of collecting the tax on idle land. The provincial, city, municipal assessor shall furnish a copy thereof to the provincial, city, or municipal treasurer, who shall notify, on the basis of such record, the owner of the property or person having legal interest therein of the imposition of the additional tax. And the local assessor shall also attend personally or through a duly authorized representative all the sessions of the local and central boards of assessment appeals and present any and all information or records in his possession as may be required by the board in determining the correct assessment of the real property under appeals, and also issue upon request of the property by owner or his authorized representative certificates pertaining to or certified copies, the assessment records of the real property, and other records relative to its assessment after the presentation of the official receipt evidencing full payment of real tax for the current year and upon payment of a service charge or fee fixed by the local sanggunian concerned, and also to exercise and perform such other powers, duties, and functions as may be prescribed by law and ordinance. So for our next lesson, we will going to discuss the section 2, the supervision over local assessors. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on our next lesson.